Vorthak the Terrible, third-class mindhunter of the Galactic Academy, adjusted his 4 purple eye stalks with the smug confidence of someone who had never met a human before. Today was going to be fun. Oh, so much fun. Another new student, he muttered to himself, examining his razor-sharp telepathic claws. These soft-brained species never learn. Time to show them what real nightmares look like. The Academy's orientation hall buzzed with nervous energy as dozens of alien species shuffled toward their assigned seats. Scaled reptilians from Kepler-7, gaseous nebula dwellers from the Void Sector, and crystalline beings from the Shatter Worlds all gave Vorthak a wide berth. Smart of them, really. His reputation for mind-breaking preceded him like a bad smell. Then he saw her dot, a small, pink-skinned creature with an impossibly optimistic smile, carrying what appeared to be a primitive cloth bag decorated with colorful geometric patterns. Her nameplate read Emma Torres, Human, Soul 3. She had brown hair tied in some sort of twisted rope formation and wore simple blue fabric coverings that screamed completely defenseless. Vorthak's mandibles clicked together in anticipation. Humans were rumored to be one of the weakest psychic species in the galaxy. This was going to be like crushing a flower petal with a meteor. Well, Vorthak slithered up behind Emma, his voice dripping with malicious glee. What do we have here? A little human, all alone in the big scary academy? Emma turned around, her brown eyes wide with curiosity rather than fear. Oh, hi there. You must be Vorthak. I read about your species in the orientation packet. You're a mindhunter, right? That sounds absolutely fascinating. Vorthak's eye stalks twitched. This wasn't the cowering response he expected. Yes, little meatbag. I hunt minds. I break them. I turn them inside out and feast on the terror within. Would you like a demonstration? Oh my goodness, yes. Emma clapped her hands together. I've never met a telepath before. This is so exciting. The other students began backing away, sensing what was about to happen. Even Professor Quillmax, a seasoned educator from Andromax Prime, looked concerned as he approached the pair. Mr. Vorthak, Professor Quillmax warned, his tentacles writhing nervously, perhaps you should wait until after orientation to socialize. Vorthak waved a dismissive claw. This will only take a moment, Professor. I'm simply going to peek inside this little human's dreams. Show her what real fear looks like. Emma tilted her head to one side. Dreams? Oh, you're going to love this. I have the most interesting dreams. Sometimes I dream about flying, or talking to animals, or meeting new friends from other planets. Like right now. Vorthak's confidence soared. Flying dreams? Talking animals? This human was even more pathetically innocent than he had hoped. Oh, sweet little human. Let me show you what nightmares are made of. He extended his psychic tendrils, preparing to dive deep into Emma's subconscious, ready to plant seeds of terror that would haunt her for cycles to come. The connection established with satisfying ease. Humans really were psychically defenseless. Here I come, little dreamer, Vorthak whispered, plunging into the depths of Emma's sleeping mind. What he found there made his 4 hearts stop beating simultaneously. Emma's dreamscape wasn't the gentle meadow of talking rabbits and rainbow bridges he expected. Instead, Vorthak found himself standing in what could only be described as a war zone designed by someone with a seriously twisted sense of creativity. Massive mechanical beasts with spinning blade appendages stomped across burning landscapes while flying metal creatures rained explosive death from above. Humanoid figures in powered armor suits leaped between collapsing buildings, wielding weapons that seemed to bend reality itself. Isn't it wonderful? Emma's voice echoed through the dreamscape, cheerful as ever. I call this one Last Stand on Europa Station. It's from a game I used to play back home. Oh, and look over there. Vorthak's eye stalks swiveled to see a figure in black armor systematically hunting down and eliminating what appeared to be interdimensional horror creatures with nothing but a plasma rifle and an attitude problem. That's Commander Sarah from my favorite series, Emma continued conversationally. She's so cool. She once survived being thrown into a black hole and came back angrier than before. Humans are surprisingly creative when it comes to imagining violence, don't you think? Vorthak tried to retreat from the connection, but Emma's mind held him fast. Not maliciously, just with the casual strength of someone who had grown up consuming entertainment designed to desensitize viewers to progressively more elaborate forms of fictional destruction. Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. Emma's mental voice bubbled with enthusiasm. This is my zombie apocalypse collection. And over here are my alien invasion scenarios. I have about 47 different ways humanity fights back from near extinction. Vorthak watched in growing horror as Emma's dreams paraded past him. Scenarios where humans fought creatures that made his own species look like cuddly pets. Humans surviving in post-apocalyptic wastelands. Humans building weapons capable of cracking planets. Humans facing cosmic horrors that drove lesser species insane just by looking at them, and in every single scenario, the humans won through a combination of stubborn refusal to give up and creative application of overwhelming violence. The best part, Emma continued, guiding Vorthak through what she cheerfully called her war crime simulation collection, is that humans always find a way to make friends afterward. We're very social creatures, you know. Vorthak's psychic tendrils began trembling as Emma showed him her collection of heartwarming post-war rebuilding stories where humans helped their former enemies recover from the devastating conflicts they had just survived. This was not going according to plan. Hack desperately tried to sever the psychic connection, but Emma's mind clung to him like a friendly parasite that genuinely wanted to share its entire movie collection. And oh, what a collection it was. Wait. Emma's mental voice practically bounced with excitement. You absolutely have to see my favorite series. It's called Humanity Ascendant, and it's about what happens when humans finally get tired of playing nice with the universe. Before Vorthak could protest, he found himself witnessing a montage of humans doing things that violated at least 14 different galactic treaties on acceptable warfare conduct. Humans building Dyson spheres around enemy homeworlds just to prove a point. Humans weaponizing black holes. Humans turning entire star systems into elaborate death traps for species that annoyed them. The really clever part, Emma continued, completely oblivious to Vorthak's growing mental distress, is how they always give their enemies fair warning first. Humans are very polite about mass destruction. We have excellent manners. Vorthak's 4 hearts were now beating in completely different rhythms, none of them healthy. This was supposed to be a simple intimidation exercise. He was supposed to be the nightmare here, not the victim of one. Please, he whispered through the psychic link, please let me go. Oh, but we're just getting to the good stuff. Emma replied cheerfully. This next one is my absolute favorite. It's about a human diplomat who solves an interstellar war by challenging both alien fleets to a dance-off, and when they refuse, she calls in the human military to demonstrate what aggressive negotiations really means. The dreamscape shifted, and Vorthak watched in fascination and horror as human soldiers performed what could only be described as a synchronized orbital bombardment routine set to upbeat music. They were actually choreographing their planet-cracking artillery strikes. Humans have such a wonderful sense of rhythm when it comes to violence, Emma observed fondly, back in the orientation hall. Professor Quillmax was growing increasingly concerned. Vorthak had been standing motionless for nearly 10 minutes, his eye stalks locked onto the human student who was still smiling and occasionally giggling at nothing visible. Mr. Vorthak, the professor called out. Are you quite all right? Other students had gathered in a nervous circle around the pair. The reptilians were hissing softly among themselves. The nebula dwellers were condensing into anxious clouds. Even the crystalline beings were refracting light in worried patterns. Inside Emma's mind, Vorthak was experiencing what humans might call an existential crisis. He had spent his entire career as a mindhunter believing that fear was a universal constant. That all sentient beings could be broken down to their most primitive terrors, but humans, apparently, had turned terror into entertainment. They had weaponized their own nightmares and called it fun. Oh, and you simply must see my collection of human children's entertainment. Emma continued enthusiastically. We have these wonderful stories about young humans who face down cosmic entities, evil wizards, and interdimensional demons as a normal part of growing up. Vorthak watched children's stories where 10-year-old humans routinely defeated forces that would send his own species fleeing to the next galaxy. And they did it while learning valuable lessons about friendship and teamwork. The educational value is remarkable, Emma noted. Human children learn problem-solving skills by imagining themselves fighting things that could destroy entire civilizations. It's very character-building. Professor Quillmax approached more closely. Emma, dear, is Mr. Vorthak quite well? He seems to be experiencing some form of neural feedback. Emma looked back at Vorthak with genuine concern. Oh my. Vorthak, are you okay? You look a little pale. Well, paler than usual. Is this your normal color? Through the psychic link, Vorthak managed to croak, What are you? I'm human. Emma replied brightly, both mentally and verbally. We're from a little blue planet called Earth. We're very friendly once you get to know us. Though I suppose our entertainment choices might seem a bit intense to other species. A bit intense? Vorthak's mental voice cracked. You dream about turning suns into weapons. You fantasize about punching holes through reality itself. Your children's stories involve battling cosmic horrors. Emma paused thoughtfully. Well, when you put it like that, it does sound rather dramatic. But that's just imagination. We would never actually do any of those things unless someone really annoyed us. The casual way she delivered that last part made Vorthak's remaining sanity pack its bags and head for the emergency exit. Besides, Emma continued, most of those stories end with everybody becoming friends afterward. Humans are very good at forgiveness. It's one of our better qualities, along with pattern recognition and spite-driven persistence. Professor Quillmax gently placed a tentacle on Vorthak's shoulder. Mr. Vorthak, I think you should release the psychic connection now. You appear to be experiencing cultural shock. With tremendous effort, Vorthak managed to sever the link and stumbled backward, his eye stalks spinning wildly as they tried to focus on reality again. Emma smiled at him with the same bright, innocent expression she had worn from the beginning. That was wonderful. Thank you for sharing that experience with me, Vorthak. I've never had anyone visit my dreams before. Would you like to be friends? Vorthak stared at her for a long moment, then slowly nodded. Yes, he whispered. Yes, I would very much like to be friends with you, Emma Torres of the Humans. Because if there was one thing Vorthak the Terrible had learned from his brief tour of human consciousness, it was that humans made much better friends than enemies, even if their idea of bedtime stories could drive a mindhunter to therapy. Professor Quillmax cleared his throat. Well then, shall we proceed with orientation? I believe we have covered quite enough, socializing for one day. As the other students dispersed, still whispering among themselves about what they had just witnessed, Vorthak remained close to Emma. Not to intimidate her, but because something told him that staying on the good side of humanity was probably the smartest decision he had ever made. After all, any species that could turn nightmares into entertainment was not a species you wanted to upset, even if they did promise to be very polite about the inevitable, creative, and thoroughly devastating consequences.